Good day, students. On this clip, we're going to be going over the first set of conic sections for this unit, which is circles. Okay, so write down the title of the notes. Conic sections. One. In this case, we're going to be working on circles. Okay, we have three other conic sections we're going to be doing, but we're going to start with circles. All right, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and write down the example we're going to be looking at. So for all the problems that we're going to be doing, this is just what we're going to be expected to achieve. We're expected to find the center and the radius of the circles with the given equations of the circles with the given equations Okay, after doing that, I would like you to graph the circle and label it completely. And then after doing that, I'll like you to find the diameter, uh, circumference, and area, and area of the equation of the circle. Okay, and area of the resultant circle. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at example number 1. We have the circle in standard form with equation x squared minus, plus x squared plus y plus 3 square equals 25. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to put this circle in this equation in standard form. Is almost there. We know what the standard form is, right? The standard form is basically given by x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, you notice that there's no number being added or subtracted from the x, so what's going to happen there, we're going to write it as follows. We're going to write it as x minus 0, because 0 is the same thing as nothing, right? X minus 0 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 25. Alright, so with this in mind, let's go ahead and find the center. So to find the center, we just take the opposite of the numbers next to each coordinate, right? So for the x coordinate, the opposite of the number next to x, which is 0, 0 has no orientation, so 0 is just 0. And then for the y, which is k, we'll take the opposite of this number right here, which is negative 3. Alright? So there goes your center. And then to find your radius, all you do is you take the square root of the last number, which is 25, which equals 5. So what does this mean? This means you're going to be going 5 units up, 5 units to the left, 5 units to the right, and 5 units down. Basically 5 units in all directions. Alright? So now what is the meaning of this? I would expect you to state what the meaning of your result is. So the meaning basically is that the locus or collection, you just write the locus of points, 5 units of points, of points on a plane. The locus of points on a plane, it has to be on a plane. The locus of points on a plane, um, that is 5 units away from the center, from the point 0, negative 3, is given by the equation, scroll this up a little bit, is given by the equation x squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 25. So this is basically what the answer means, all right? All right, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and generate the graph of our circle. So the graph, we have the center and the radius, so now we're going to generate the graph. All right, so we're going to go ahead and graph the equation of the results we just generated. So we know what the center is. Center is 0, -3, and then we're going to go 5 in all directions. So since the point is located on the negative y-axis, we're going to make our negative y-axis a little bit longer. That means that our x-axis will be somewhat elevated. Okay, so the center is 0, -3, so 0 will just go down 1, 2, 3, 0, -3, and that will be our center right there. Okay, so now we're going to graph 5 units in all directions. Um, so what's that going to look like? So starting from the center, we'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, put a point there, and then go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so there goes your points, and then basically we're going to connect the dots and make ourselves a circle. All right, so um, just try to make a circle as best as you can. Just connect the dots like that, and then it's just a sketch of a circle. Okay, so there you have your circle, and the radius, just indicate what your radius and your center are on the circle, and that will suffice. So this is your radius right here. This is the radius, and that is your center. Okay, center. The coordinates of your center is 0, -3, and your radius r is equal to your radius is equal to 5. So radius is equal to 5. All right, so with that in mind, we're going to look for the remaining information, which is basically the diameter and the circumference and area. All right, so let's start out by looking for the diameter of the circle. So the other piece of information I want you to find, the diameter. The diameter is basically 2r. So in this case, it's going to be 2 times 5. So your diameter in this problem is 10 units. Okay? And then next you need to know the circumference. The circumference. The formula for circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. 2 pi r. We know that r is 5, so it's going to be 2 times pi. 2 times pi times 5. Okay, let me write that. So your circumference is 2 times pi times 5. Alright, so your circumference is simply going to be 10 pi units. Alright, and then the area of the circle, formula for area is pi r squared. So since the radius is 5, it's going to simply be pi times 5 squared. So your area is going to be 25 pi square units. Okay, so there you have it. Alright, with that in mind, let's move on to example 2. In example 2, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to be taking a look at the equation. Example 2, we're taking a look at equation x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 49. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we need to find the center and the radius. So we know what the general form is. So to find the center, I'll take the opposite of the number next to the x to find the x coordinate, which is -3, and then the opposite of the number next to the y to find the y coordinate, which is 1. And then your radius is basically the square root of the last number to the right side of the equal sign, which is square root of 49, which equals 7. Now what does this mean? It means you're going to go 7 up, 7 down, from the center, 7 to the left, 7 to the right, in all directions. That's what it means to be a circle, okay? Now, what does this mean? Meaning, write this down. The meaning basically of this result is that the the locus of points, the locus of points, 7 units, the locus of points on a plane. Sorry, I keep forgetting that. The locus of points um, on a plane, on a plane that are 7 units away from -3, 1 is given by the equation. Basically, the original equation is given by the equation um, x plus 3 square plus y minus 1 square equals 49. Okay, so this is basically the meaning of what we just derived. All right, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and graph the equation that we just generated. So the graph, we just need a center and a radius. The center is -3, 1, which basically means that we're going to be going to the left and then going up. So our quadrant 2 will be the biggest. All right, so we're going to shift our y-axis to the right a little bit and then make our x-axis a little bit long. So something like this. Okay? All right, so um, let me put my x-axis downwards a little bit so that it fits. All right, so let's go ahead and graph the center. The center is -3, 1. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 3 to the right, and then go up 1. So there goes my center. So I haven't found my center. I'll go 7 units in all directions. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up. 7 to the north, 7 to the south. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 7 to the east and west. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So now, with that in mind, we're going to graph our circle. Alright, so you're going to try and draw a circle as best as you can. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use the circle graphing tool here. So basically from the center, you basically draw a circle. That's 7 units in all directions. Okay, there goes my circle. Alright, so let's go ahead and label those components of the circle. I just need you to label the radius and the center, and that will suffice. So I haven't drawn the circle. This right here is the radius. This is the radius. Radius. Let me spell it correctly. So if that's the radius, we have to state what the measure is. So the radius is 7 units, and this is the center right there. The center is, what are the coordinates of the center? -3, 1. Okay, so the collection of points that are 4 units, 7 units away from this center is defined by this circle right here. All right. So now let's find the other pieces of information that I asked for. I need the diameter of the circle. So the diameter, its formula for diameter is basically double the radius. So it's going to be 2 times 7, which is 14. 14 units. That's the diameter. And then the circumference. Circumference is basically, the formula for circumference is 2 pi r. So we know r is 7, so it's going to be 2 times pi times 7, which equals 14 pi units. All right, and then the area is given by pi r squared, So it's going to be pi times 7 squared. So our area is simply going to be 49 pi square units. Okay? So that's that for the first part of the notes. Welcome back, students. Now we're going to be going over circles that are basically in general form. So let's go ahead and write down the title of this notes. So circles in general form. Okay. So in this case, we have to do work before we can find the center radius. We're not going to have problems that are as easy as the other ones that we just did. Okay. So now let's take a look at the write down instructions first. So, for example, 3. What I'd like you to do is place the given equation in standard form. In standard form, uh, and then after doing that, in standard form, I'd like you to find the center and radius and state the meaning. State the meaning. And then after doing that, graph and completely label completely label the resulting circle. Resultant circle. And then after graphing and labeling the resultant circle, the um, find the diameter, circumference, and area of the circle. Okay? Alright, so with that in mind, let's take a look at the example. In this case, we're going to look at the example um, x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 6y minus 3 equals 0. Okay? Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to, in order to place this circle in this equation, this is the general form. In order to place it in standard form, we're going to have to do something called completing the square. Okay, so this is general form. So we want to put it in standard form. So we're going to complete the square. So in order to complete the square, what we're going to do is we need to separate the variables and put the constants on the other side. So we got to put the x's together. So this is an x, and this is an x variable, so I'll put them next to each other. So we have x squared minus 4x, and then put the y's next to each other, plus y squared plus 6y. And then this 3 right here, it's neither an x nor y, so we're going to move it to the other side. So we just add 3 to both sides and move the 3 to the other side, okay? So it's going to be equal to 3. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to complete the square in both sides. So we have the x world right here and the y world, so I'm going to split it down the center. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the square for the x's and also the y's. Alright, we're going to do it simultaneously. So to complete the square, I need to add a special constant to this side to make it a perfect square trinomial. And then I need to add a constant to this side to make it a perfect square trinomial. So in order to do that, all you just need to do, remember, b over 2 square completes the square. Alright? So for the x world, we need a b for the x. For the x world, this is a right here, and that's b. The coefficient of x is b. So b for the x world is -4. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to divide it by 2 and square it. That will give me the number that completes the square in the x world, okay? So if I divide this by 2, I'll end up with -2. And then when I square that, that gives me 4. So 4 completes the square in the x world. On the y world, the b, this is basically a, and this is b. The coefficient of y squared is a, which is 1. The coefficient of y is b, which is 6. So b of y is 6. So I'll divide that by 2. That gives me 3. When I square it, I get 9. So that completes the square in the y world, okay? So let's go ahead and insert the results we just got. So on the x side, I'm going to have x squared minus 4x. The term that completes the square is 4. Okay, so let me add that in with the blue ink, plus 4. And then in the y world, we have plus y squared plus 6y. And then the number that completes the square in the y world is basically 9, so plus 9. And then that equals 3. Now, since I added 4 and 9 on the left side of the equation to preserve equality, I have to add 4 and 9 on the right side, so plus 4 plus 9. Okay? Now, since I have two perfect square trinomials, I'm going to factor this and factor that. Alright, so how you do it is you root the first and the last term, and then you simply bring down the middle sign, okay? So the square root of x squared is x, bring down the minus, and then the square root of 4 is 2 squared, okay? This is a factoring trick for perfect square trinomials, alright? So, and then bring down the plus, the same story here. You root the first and root the last terms, and then you bring down the middle sign, okay? So this one is going to be y plus 3 quantity squared equals 3 plus 4 is 12, I'm sorry, 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 9 is 16, okay? So guess what? We have our equation in standard form. So the standard form, let me just rewrite it, is x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 16. So this is the equation in standard form, okay? So the standard form makes it easy for us to determine what the center and the radius are going to be. So let's go ahead and find out what they are. Okay, so this problem now looks exactly like what we've been working on before. So the center is, you do the opposite, 2, negative 3. The radius is what you get when you take the square root of the last number, which is 16. So when you take the square root of 16, you get 4. 4 units, so this basically means you're going to go 4 units in all 4 directions, up, down, left, right, technically in all directions, but these 4 points are sufficient to determine the circle, okay? So what does this mean? The meaning, right on the meaning basically is that the locus of points, on a plane, that that are 4 units away from the center, 2, negative 3 is given by the equation, which is basically the original equation, is given by the equation x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 6y minus 3 equals 0. Okay? So this basically is what this result means. So having that in mind, we can go ahead and graph what our circle is going to be. So we're going to the right 2 units and then down 4. So our fourth quadrant is going to be the biggest one. So we just shift our y-axis to the left a little bit and our x-axis up a little bit. So let's graph the center first. So the center is 1, 2, 2 units to the right, and then go down 3 units, 1, 2, 3. There goes your center, okay? So we're going to go 4 units in all directions, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 north, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 south. Alright, so those are the points that define my circle. So all I'll just simply do is go ahead and draw a circle like that, and then let's label it per the instructions. All I need to do is label the radius and the center. Okay, so this is the radius. This is the radius, and this right here is the center. Okay, so with this piece of information, I can find the diameter. The diameter is basically twice the radius, so it's going to be 2 times 4, and the answer is 8. 8 units. And then the circumference, formula for circumference is 2 pi r. So since r is 4, our circumference is going to be 2 times pi times 4, which is basically 8 pi units. And the formula for area is pi r squared. So our area is simply going to be equal to pi times 4 squared. So 4 times 4 is 16. So pi, 16 pi square units. Alright, so that's basically that. Alright, thanks for paying attention to this presentation. Now we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. Um, Thanks for viewing. You can subscribe to my videos for future updates and feel free to request videos. And a collection of my clips can be found at math.served.com. So have a nice day.